All right, Shane, next on the docket here, Mississippi State, my goodness, goes into College Station. My hand was about to hit the panic button here with the Aggies, Shane, losing at home to Mike Leach, the Pirate, and Will Rogers. Mississippi State's been so inconsistent, but I went back and rewatched this game, and I know no one's going to want to hear this because you lose a damn game, and there's no such thing as moral victories here. But I don't really think Texas A&M's that far off either. I mean, it's just little miscues here or there. You have a big play, and then you get a holding. It's kind of like we saw with Florida, where you'll have a penalty once you get things going. Zach Calzada, he's not terrible, but he's not good. You know what I mean? Like he's probably one of the better backups in the SEC, but that ain't going to get it done, brother. And when Mississippi State puts this thing together, I mean, Will Rogers played the game of his life. 408 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was wheeling and dealing. It seems like now Mike Leach has got in this receiver Polk he got transferred in there, and Calvin from both from the Pac-12, and now some of his younger guys are integrating into the system. This is that Mississippi State offense we've been waiting 2 years to get.
Right.
You combine that with the defense making plays left and right, and all of a sudden, if this offense shows up week in and week out, Mississippi State's got the most, unpredictable and dangerous team out there, but I think they can beat damn near anybody outside of Georgia and possibly Alabama. But other than that, I think they could beat everybody on their schedule if they play like this, and I think Mississippi State fans, cannot be happier with this performance.
No, man, you got to be on cloud 9 after this one. And, I spoke earlier about Mizzou probably being the most disappointed. You know who's second? Texas A&M.
I would put them number one. I honestly would, because I thought they would. I thought they'd be an SEC West contender. And, they got Alabama coming to town. They're not eliminated until they play Alabama. But if they don't upset Alabama, which is a huge, huge task, then they're essentially eliminated here in the second week of October.
Well, who do you put this loss on? I don't get me wrong. Will Rogers, Mississippi State, fantastic game. They still made mistakes, but they found a way to win this thing. Mm-hmm. But if you go to Texas A&M, who do you hang this loss on? Do you? I don't like identifying players, but obviously Calzada is the easy answer at quarterback. But do you put some of this responsibility on Jimbo? I mean, it feels like we're not getting any type of adjustment. It's just like, hey, we'll throw Calzada out there and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I hate to do this because they were so hyped, but I put this one on the defense, Shane. In critical situations, we'll jump over to Jimbo's comments here in a moment, but everybody's been playing Mississippi State with just strictly zone and keeping up everything in front of them, and Texas A&M did a little bit of that, but the moments they switched to man, Will Rogers picked it up instantly, picked him apart for a couple of touchdowns. That really was the difference in the game. I know Zach Calzada threw that the first interception right out the gate, first pass. Mm-hmm. That, anytime you got the first pass of the game intercepted, it's a huge omen for the rest of the game, and it kind of was for this one. But Texas A&M still had their opportunities. They still had the ball late in the game. They were down, I believe, 2, and they would have had to go the length of the field to score a touchdown, but they didn't need a touchdown. All they needed was field goal.
Right.
They had that momentum. Thanks again to the Kyle Field crowd. I mean, that home field advantage. Once again, it started to get to the Mississippi State, the young team, I thought, and it certainly seemed like momentum was swinging back to the Aggies' way. But then Zach Arnett's defense made the safety, and that one really was on Calzada because you get the ball at the 12-yard line. There's no chance in hell that should ever be a safety. You got to have more situational awareness. You can't back up 12 yards and get tackled in the end zone. So, that was really bad. But, hey, he's just a young guy that just doesn't have a lot of experience. So I will certainly put that on Calzada. But, I think what the problem is, Shane, is because Texas A&M's got so many weapons, I think they were just so prepared. You remember Hayden King, he got the job pretty early in camp. It was like a week into camp. I think they went in going with him, and his mobility, and they were probably going to do so many things with that, and then he goes down. And not to say Zach Calzada can't run. Hell, he had a really nice rushing touchdown in this game, but he's more of a pocket passer. And it doesn't seem like there was ever, plans or designs to have strictly a pocket passer back there. I think they're just really, really missing that true mobile threat that Haynes King. It's almost like Jimbo spent the whole offseason building the offense for King, and then that was pulled out from under him, and he didn't adjust.
You may hit the nail on the head. Let me ask you, if he was still healthy, if he never got hurt, do you think A&M still? Do you think they're undefeated?
Sorry, I had to hit my camera real quick. That's a tough question. I would say no, because I still think they would have lost to Arkansas. Although, man, that's tough to say, because thinking back to that Arkansas game, Zach Calzada did not have a good day, brother. But
no, he didn't.
From what I've seen from King, I think he's got real potential. But let's not make him out to be, Bryce Young, Johnny Manziel. He's not. Yeah. He's still a young guy too, so there may have been learning as well. But I certainly think they'd be a little bit better, and I hate to see that, because I think Zach Calzada's got the world of potential, but I just don't know if I don't know. It just. The offense, and maybe it's because the offensive line is such a mess, but they're not maximizing their potential in College Station right now.
How big was it for you guys to come in here on the road and get a win over a good ranked opponent?
It's good. I mean, it's always good. Heck, it's always good to win in Kyle Field, and I've done it more than most people have. So it's awesome to win in Kyle Field. Kyle Field's one of the greatest. I mean, I'd be willing to hear your list if you wanted to offer it, but of better stadiums to play. But if this is below the top 5, I mean, you're going to have to get another line of work, because I mean, it's not going to get better than this. I remember a lady. She lived in San Luis Obispo, California. Lived there her whole life. She said, "I'm tired of I can't wait to get out of this little town. This little hick town." Because it's going to be so much, thought she's going to go to the big city, thought she's going to go somewhere more scenic. It doesn't get much better in San Luis Obispo, California. So it's a little bit like Kyle Field Stadium environment-wise, I'd like to get better in Texas A&M. Good luck with that as far as game day environment,
What did you like best about what your team did tonight to win this game?
Played together, hung in there, didn't, struggle with the emotional ups and downs, bounced back, responded quickly.
And then what's your overall attitude of your defense's performance tonight?
Well, I mean, I think we were a little bit – he gave up too many controlled drives and ate so much clock. Like I said, we only had 4 possessions in the second half, and the last one came with 2 minutes to go, and one of them was at the 10. I mean, I think we got to find a way to get some more 3-and-outs. We got to play a little better man coverage and win those battles a little bit. And on third down, we got to get off the field a little bit. But on offense, you got to maximize drives and score touchdowns. Every inch matters, and playing good teams. So we'll look at it. Before I make a judgment, we'll evaluate the film and look at it.
I know you still need to look at the film, but when you look at some of Zach's inconsistencies, is it more having to do sometimes with the reads? Is it more of a physical execution?
Well, I'm going to tell you what, Dal, some other. I mean, he made some, but he made some really good plays today too. I mean, let's go back now, and some of that too. It's not all Zach, and that's a couple pressures. And we missed a blitz one time down there in the red zone. They had a chance to be a one-on-one post, and we didn't pick up a blitz inside and didn't pick it up. So I mean, he had a couple plays at the end, but he got pressure. I'll have to look at that one on the safety. I don't know what happened, but he led us on some nice drives, made a touch scramble for a nice touchdown, made a great touchdown throw on there on the other one. I'll look at one of the others in the red zone, but he's getting better and better each time he's in the side. His third game he's played, and we got to continue to play better around him too. The first interception, I mean, hits a guy perfect with the ball, give up 3 points. So I mean, if they catch those balls, what's that do for his confidence going the other way? I mean, that's a double-edged sword. So we just got to play better as a unit and hang together and figure it out.
I know after